Hello everyone! Today we're going to discuss how to choose truck dispatcher training course. This video I have to start with a disclosure. One of the reasons this video is not called how to choose the best truck dispatcher training is that our company AlphaX Logistics operates LearnDispatch.com project, which sells truck dispatcher training. So for me to select which one is the best probably would be very biased and unfair to all the other trainings. And since I really would like to at least try to make it somewhat objective, I'm just gonna discuss a couple of factors you should consider when selecting your training course. Then you can analyze these factors and select the training which is best for you. So let's start with factor number one, which is credibility. You probably want to learn who is selling you the training. Okay, is this person or a company actively involved in dispatching, how long they have been in business, and do they know what they're talking about? Someone may say that they've done dispatching in the past, which is fine. However, someone who is actively doing it right now has to stay on the top of all the trends and changes that occur in the industry and can basically relate those changes to you as students. For example, in our particular case, AlphaX Logistics has been in business since 2012. LearnDispatch project has been operated, I believe, since 2016. And also, AlphaX Logistics is the member of Better Business Bureau with a A+ rating. So again, we can say that we are an actual company that does exist, that actually operates in this field, and therefore we can provide this type of information to our students. So do your research and make sure that you feel comfortable with whoever you are going to be dealing with. Factor number two is content. We see a lot of sellers of different trainings not even posting their curriculum. That means you don't really know what are you going to learn. And this is important because you want to know what subjects are going to be covered. Maybe you're already familiar with those subjects, or maybe the subjects that you want to learn about are not being covered in this particular course. So if such curriculum is not being posted on their website, I think you should ask for a detailed description of what is being covered in the training. Factor number three is support, and this factor is very, very important. Actually, I like to point out to some of our prospective students that we're not selling the course as much as we're selling our support. And our support is what makes our training, I believe that's what makes our training better than any other. So you want to know what kind of support you can get during the training and post-training. For example, at LearnDispatch, if you have any questions, we have a support team which is available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So as soon as you submit your question, someone's going to look at it and we're going to respond to it as quickly as possible. Depending on complexity of your question, it can be answered within a few minutes to a couple of hours in case when it's a more complicated question and, for example, I personally may need to look at it to provide an answer. Post-training support is equally important because once you complete the training, you may actually start your operations and you may run into some situations which are not covered in the training course. At this point, you want to have someone who could help you resolve this situation. And again, in our case, you can reach out to us and explain what is happening, and we can advise you what your options are and how you may want to resolve any given problem or a situation. So you definitely want to learn what kind of support you're going to receive and how quickly you will get responses to your questions and inquiries. Factor number four is price. Now, price is very, very subjective thing. For someone, paying $20 is a lot. For somebody else, paying $1,000 is not a lot. Therefore, there is no really correct price point. Okay, so we cannot say that courses that start at this price range are good and below this price range they're bad. So I would like to offer you an alternative view on how you can be pricing different trainings. Actually, I'm going to tell you a secret. Pretty much most of the information that you're going to find in various trainings can be found on the internet for free. The question is, how much time and effort are you going to have to put into finding this information? For example, our course was developed based on the manual, which we have developed previously to train employee dispatchers for our company. With this manual in hand, it took us another 6 to 8 months to put together all the material, organize it in a logical order, add documents, and so on and so on. So we spent a decent amount of time on developing this training. Let's imagine that you decide to do it on your own, and it's actually not going to take you that much time. Let's imagine that you're going to spend 80 or maybe 100 hours collecting all the information that we provide all on your own. You find it for free, you pay absolutely nothing. Now, with that number in mind, I will say that, for example, our courses are mostly priced between $300 and $400. So you just save yourself $300 to $400, but you have spent about 100 hours of your time. That means that your labor is worth about $3 to $4 an hour. Is your time worth more than $3 or $4 an hour? I would think so, but then again, if you have a different opinion, you can just venture out into the World Wide Web and try to collect all the information. You know, you're going to save a few $100s, but then you're going to have to do a lot of work yourself, and you're not going to get any kind of support. And as we have discussed previously, support can be very important, in some cases critical, when you start your operations as an independent truck dispatcher. And since we've been talking about money, let's talk about factor number 5, which is refund policy. While refund policy should not be a determining factor when choosing your training, it should give you some clues about who you're dealing with. There are usually 3 types of companies and the way they deal with the refunds. The first one is no refund policy. This is a digital product and we're not going to give you your money back. To some extent, I respect this approach. It's a digital product. You know, if you buy a song on iTunes, you know, you cannot really return it back because you didn't like the song. And while it may not be always fair, at least you're being told what to expect and you either accept these conditions or you do not. The second type of the companies, which we belong to, offers a simple 30-day money-back guarantee. There is no fine print, there is no conditions attached to it. Basically, what you see is what you get. However, it is the third type that you should be aware of. I believe that's the most dangerous one because they pose as someone who is offering a, let's say, 30-day money-back guarantee, but there are a lot of conditions attached to it. So when you see something like that, take a look at the bottom of their web page. Is there a fine print? Is there a refund policy page? Take a good look at it, because what you may learn that while they say they do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, in reality, in order to receive your money, you're going to have to fulfill certain conditions. And those conditions may be something like that you have to implement and prove that you have done everything they taught you in the course, and so on and so on. And while completing the course within 30 days is fairly realistic, implementing all the knowledge you are going to receive and setting up your dispatch service just may not be. Therefore, such policies should give you an idea that someone is trying to trick you. They don't want to be as straightforward and tell you that no, we're not going to give you your money back, but they don't really want to give you your money back either. So that's the trick they are going to use. So again, pay close attention to this, because that again gives you an idea and an indication on who you're dealing with. So we just covered 5 different factors you can consider when selecting your training. Okay, so pay close attention to these factors, and this should help you form an opinion as to who you want to deal with and who you don't want to deal with. At the same time, I want you to remember that any knowledge is valuable, and investing money in yourself is the best investment you can make. Sometimes things work in a very strange ways where you may not become a truck dispatcher, but you may learn some new skills which will become very useful in your other job or in the other business that you're going to start. So try to learn as much as you can, invest in yourself, and I will see you next time.